Geronimo Stilton, The Kingdom of Fantasy, Part 5. We're heading toward the kingdom of the fairies to save Queen Blossom, who's in trouble, I explained to Shelley. The turtle nodded. May I come with you? She asked shyly. I shook her paw. We would be honored, I said. This made Scribblehopper super excited. Now there will be 3 of us. We can be a team. We should make a name for ourselves. How about the 3 Mouseketeers? He suggested. No, we're not all mice, I said. How about the Dream Team? No, that's too sappy, said Scribblehopper. What about the Order of the Fairy Queen? Offered Shelley. We shook in agreement. Long live the Order of the Fairy Queen! But just then an icy wind made my whiskers quiver. Queen Aquafin had stirred up a hurricane to destroy us. The high winds whisked sand and palm trees from the island into the sky. They tossed us around like wet socks in a clothes dryer. How much time had passed anyway? Seconds? Hours? Finally, the whirlwind died down, and we found ourselves back on the beach. Shelley had cut herself on a sharp reef. I ripped off a strip of cloth from my shirt and bandaged up the wound. It wasn't an easy thing to do. You see, the sight of blood makes me feel faint. Just as we were breathing a sigh of relief, a ship appeared on the horizon. Rats! Blackbeard's ship was sailing right for us. By the way, Blackbeard was a pirate in the 1700s. His name was Edward Teach. But he had more than 10 nicknames. He always carried 6 pistols and had at least 14 wives. Before each battle, he would braid his long black beard with cloth strips. He would scare away his enemies by setting the cloth strips on fire so it looked like he was enveloped in flames. Anyway, Shelley told us to climb onto her back. She swam towards the citrine door. It would lead us to the kingdom of the dragons. The turtle stopped at the door. I must leave you now, she said. My injury will only slow you down. But thanks for letting me be a part of this team. I felt awful. Shelley never would have been hurt if she hadn't tried to help us. Don't go, Scribblehopper and I cried. But Shelley just smiled. It's okay, she said. Don't be sad. Remember, the hearts of friends will always be together. The turtle pointed to a large yellow stone hidden in the palm trees. There's the citrine door that will take you to the kingdom of the dragons, she said. It was midnight. We had to hurry. Waving goodbye to Shelley, we walked right through the citrine door to the kingdom of the dragons. And it was full of smoke. Whew. As we entered the kingdom of the dragons, the music box tinkled. I heard a musical note, an E. The citrine slid open. Out popped a gold tooth. It looked like it belonged to some giant creature. Cheese sticks, I wouldn't want to see the rest of those chompers. I looked around. We were in the middle of a dry, sun-baked wasteland. Steaming volcanoes stood on either side of us. The sky was dimmed by a dark cloud of soot. Every once in a while, the ground trembled. Were those volcanoes about to blow? Was this how it would all end? I could just read the headlines now. Publisher buried alive under hot lava. Melted mouse mess discovered in Dragonland. Whew, my heart hammered under my fur. Anyway, here's a little information about the Kingdom of the Dragons. It is ruled by His Majesty King Firebreath III of Sizzling Cinder, of the noble dynasty of Smoldering Lava, King of Dragonair, Emperor of the Volcano of Vapors, Count of the Steaming Sand Dunes, and Governor of all great and glowing fireballs. He lives in the royal palace, which is called Dragonair. Guardian of the kingdom, Mount Thunderer, and a currency is called Dragonet doubloons. In the kingdom of the dragons, they speak a language called, you guessed it, Dragonese. And here's a little bit of history about the inhabitants. Dragons are two-footed or sometimes four-footed reptiles. They often have wings and spew out fire with each breath. Many dragons are the guardians of great treasures. Dragons have extremely sharp vision. Some never even sleep. In Greek, the word dragon means serpent or something like that. Some famous dragons include Ladon, the one who had 100 heads and was the guardian of the Garden of Hesperides, where golden apples grew. Fafnir was slain by the German hero Siegfried, and the Chinese red dragon, Qian Tang, who was about 1,000 feet long. Whew. Anyway, I was so nervous, I didn't even notice we were sitting on an enormous dragon's egg. A map of the kingdom of the dragons was drawn on it. Heh. As usual, Scribblehopper started chattering away. He loved gossip. Want to hear some dirt? He asked. What could I say? When he had something to say, there was no stopping Scribblehopper. He told me that the king of the dragons, Firebreath III, had a crush on Princess Ashley. But for some reason, he couldn't tell her. Before I could ask why, we arrived at the river of fiery lava. A long, wobbly rope bridge dangled over it. Ugh, rats. No, I can't cross over that. I'm afraid of heights. Scribblehopper patted my back. Don't be silly, he said. Ribbit. So, you might trip, you might slip, you might fall into a pit of scorching hot lava and boil up in seconds. But you have to save Blossom, the Queen of Fairies, remember? Oh, how I wished I could forget. I wished I could just go home to my cozy mouse hole. Home to my mega huge refrigerator. Home to the electric cheese slicer I bought on sale at the Cheddar Chopper. Instead, I put one trembling paw onto the bridge. Oh, you can do it, Geronimo, I told myself. Come on. Don't be a chicken. Be a mouse. My head was spinning. Don't look down, Scribblehopper warned. And remember to take it one hop at a time, Ribbit. That's what my grandmother Warty always told me. I took one teeny tiny step out onto the bridge. A few more steps, and I would be safe. But then disaster struck. A splotch of lava shot right up and set the bridge on fire. Help! 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 I shrieked in horror. In a flash, Scribblehopper grabbed my paw. We bounced to the other side of the bridge just as it crumbled. Scribblehopper then began to scribble away. The knight in shining armor leaped onto the bridge. He wasn't afraid. He was the bravest knight ever. I was touched. Thank you, Scribblehopper, I squeaked. You are a true friend. Now, if I could just get him to eat cheese instead of flies.